Have you been stirring your coffee wrong? We'll find out today. Hi, my name is Manashri and this is my first YouTube video. And in this, we're just gonna talk about stirring. Or, in other words, the way you stir your coffee and how that affects how fast the sugar dissolves. Basically, patterns of stirring and the effect it has on dissolution rates. Dissolution is basically just mixing of solid solute in liquid solvent. Okay, so one day I was sitting and I was stirring a huge glass of lemonade, and I noticed that I stirred it differently than my family did. I stirred it in different directions all the time, chaotic, and my family, prim and proper, kept stirring it in one direction throughout. And I was wondering, I'm doing it uniquely. Am I better than everybody? Just kidding. I wondered that this method that I do, I intuitively thought that this might be faster, more efficient, dissolves faster. So I thought, is it actually true? I should check it out. So I went online into the depths of industrial mixing and pharmacological mixing as well. Everywhere. I couldn't quite clearly find an answer to my question. Everybody seemed to agree that the presence of agitation or stirring improves dissolution rates, but nobody really worried about how you stir and how that affects the dissolution. In industrial engineering, we do study about impeller design, the height, inclination, all of that, but that is not quite the same as the stirring we do with a spoon in a vessel. So since I couldn't quite find an answer, I thought, why not do it myself? So first step, I took a small survey asking people how they stir their coffee, which you, my dear viewers, might also be a part of. And from that survey, I got 60 responses, and I identified four major stirring patterns. 56% people preferred unidirectional stirring, which is just stirring in one direction. 22% people prefer changing the direction once or twice in the whole duration. 19% of my homies change the direction all the time, and 2% people actually do back and forth, surprisingly. So now that we have our four directions and the code names, I want you to think which of these patterns actually dissolve stuff faster. Well, let's find out. So the experiment I did is very basic, very basic. I just took four identical glasses, equal amounts of water, equal amounts of solute. Two cases I did, 6 grams and 11 grams. And I put the glass on top of a flashlight to see if the crystals are properly dissolved or not. 120 beats per minute was my stirring speed. I used a metronome to ensure that. And using a timer, I calculated the time it took for complete dissolution with all the patterns. After both of the cases and all four of the patterns, 3 trials per pattern for more accuracy, I had 24 separate data points. Then I used MATLAB to analyze that data and find out the averages and standard deviations. And I made a chart of the pattern versus the time it takes for each pattern to dissolve the salt. And here are the results. And it's quite evident that the multi-pattern, my pattern, thank you, it is the fastest in both cases, while the line is the slowest, although there's not much difference between the three. There is a lot of theories why this could be. It could be because unidirectional stirring introduces laminar flow and no shear is happening between the layers, while multi-flow makes the shear happen between layers, and that could promote advection, which is mass transfer, and that could increase dissolution rates. My personal guess is that when you stir in a constant direction, you get cone or heap of material in the center of the vessel, and the boundary layer around that heap is so thick that fresh solvent cannot come into contact with the solute, and that stops the dissolution a huge deal. Also, vortex formation. When you stir something, a vortex is formed that promotes stagnant zones where mixing is not properly happening. So I think that is the reason why uni is not that effective, while multi, when you just disturb it all with chaos, you get better mixing. I will have to conduct more experiments to find out if my hypothesis is true. But currently, my pattern, at least, it is superior. Okay. Full disclosure, this is a very basic experiment and it was done using human actuation, which is prone to error. Very basic equipment was used: home thermometer, kitchen scale, salt, table salt. So better experimental design, better instruments, better measurement could result into more precise results. So take my observation with a grain of salt. The details of my experimental procedure, the data I collected, the MATLAB code, and the charts I've shown you are all available on my GitHub repository if you want to check them out. And the link is in the description. If you want to give me any feedback or suggestions, please be free. Don't hesitate. Drop that down in the comments. If you have any ideas what we should do next, please let me know. It has been very fun stirring classes 24 times at 12 in the night. Thank you for watching till the end. Bye.